Hey everyone, it's Shelly. Thanks for joining me. We're going to do a tutorial on paper lanterns today. And you will find this file in the Cricut Community. You'll have to bear with me because I've never done a video tutorial, so I'm sure we're going to have a couple bumps in the road, but we should be able to get through it fairly quickly. This is a fun, quick, and easy project. Let me show you first the materials that you will need to have for this project. And you can really customize this any way so you want. So we'll just go through the basics on what I'm doing for this particular one. The cardstock I used is Cricut Deluxe paper, and I'm using the Unicorn Dreams pack, and you will need one 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock. You will need white cardstock for doing your print and cut images. The printable images that I'm using for this are uploaded images, so those aren't included in the file, but there is a template for the scenery backing in there. But the cardstock I'm using, just plain 8.5 by 11 cardstock. This one actually came in a big pack from Walmart. You need a sheet of either acetate or vellum. I've got this one sheet that is Daisy D's Paper Company, item 1405. It's the one and only sheet of vellum I've ever owned, and I'm going to have to buy more. That's what I've been using for all my lanterns so far. I've also got some acetate, but I haven't started using that yet, but I think that would also work really well for this project. And then you need hot glue, and I use a little wooden barbecue skewer to just stabilize my center figure in the designs. You can pick these up at Walmart in packs of 100 for $1, and so they work really well. Okay, I am going to pan down the camera here. I've already got all my pieces cut, so I'm going to put this down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I have got all the pieces here. This is going to be the main part of the base of our lantern. And as you can see, not always do these little squares all come out, but they're relatively easy to just pull off. So that is our base. This will become our lid. I have the background that I'm going to be using. I typed in Enchanted Forest on Google to find this one. And this one is going to be a unicorn theme, so in the middle of it, I'm going to have my little unicorns. And then you have 4 circles. 2 of these are for the lid, 2 of these are for the base, and your lid pieces are just slightly larger than your other ones. Here, I'll turn them that way so you can see the size difference better. But whatever you're using for the see-through part of your lid, whether it's vellum or acetate, you'll have 1 circle that matches that size and 2 that are a little smaller. So base pieces, lid pieces. I normally like to start working on the base first, and this is so easy to assemble. The Cricut cuts and scores this all for you. Score line running across all of these little tabs, so all that you want to do is go through and just fold each of these down. See? So it looks like that. That's the side I'm going to be using for a front. These are folded in towards what will be the inside of the lantern. So we look like that. And now to work with it, I just turn it upside down like this. And I'm going to want, I think I might do the inside in the blue so it all matches. Plus I think that'll match the background well. So I normally just start at one end, put a dab of hot glue in there, and start my base piece like this. And that's what you're going to do all the way around, is just a dab of glue and put it on. Once you've done a few, you can even start doing a couple tabs at a time. And if you can see, just try to get your cardstock to bend around that nicely, getting as close as you can. It doesn't have to be totally exact, because when we're done gluing this one, we're going to take this other one and do it right over the top so we have a nice even base on it. So continuing on with this, we'll just get all of our little tabs on here. This is the third one of these I've done. And I think the first one from start to finish, that's the one in the pictures, is the first one I did. From start to finish probably took me about an hour and a half total, and that is cutting time and everything with that one, because I did do some extra decorations on the top of the box and all of that. But once you have done a couple of these, it really starts going quick. My glue gun was being less than cooperative there. I'm about out of glue, but I have another glue stick, so we're all good. Okay, so I came prepared with extra glue sticks nearby, so I'll set that there. As you can tell, that one's not absolutely perfect, but we will do. So I like to, on the back of the box, kind of make sure I've got that lined up. I'm sorry, you can't see very well if it's facing me, is it? Get that kind of lined up where it's supposed to go. And like I said, I kind of messed up that one tab. So we're not going to have an absolutely perfect line here, but the lid's going to be covering that up. So it won't be a huge issue. So just run a small string of hot glue up through there and line that up. Just hold for a few seconds to make sure it gets a good hold on it. And that is our base, like that. And then we're just going to take this other base piece, do a stream of glue all the way around that, and lay that right over it. And we now have the base of our lantern done. And that was all fairly quick and simple, I hope. Okay, now all you do with your scenery piece, there's not even any gluing required for this part, guys. It's so easy. This, just give it a little curve like that. Try to make sure it's lined up with the windows. And that goes in all the way to the bottom there. And you can hopefully look in and see that. That gives you kind of your 360 scenery effect of looking in there. Okay, now we will get to assembling our lid, and the lid is going to go very much the same way. The only difference you are going to have with the lid is you will notice you have the set of tabs on the one side. That is actually going to be the top part of your lid. And then you have these little windows that are only cut on 3 sides. And that is actually going to hold your acetate or vellum, or you could even probably use a lighter weight cardstock. I think depending on what you were doing, if you did different colored cardstocks, you could do a lightweight pink or purple, and when you put your LED lights up in there, it's probably going to kind of cast that color. So you could really add some nice effects with just your lighting. And the nice thing about this lid is by the time you're done, your string of lights actually just sits right in here between these 2 layers, and so you never see them. Okay, so this one I do a little differently, and you can always, if you wanted to, cut a 3rd circle of this size and do one on top like this, one underneath this tab, and then the vellum one sitting on these tabs. And I tried that with my second light, and I personally didn't like that as well, so I went back to just doing the 2. But we're doing the same thing, except we're going to set our circle on top of our tabs this time, as this is going to be the top of our box. So hold that first one on there just to get it set a little bit. Oops. And then these I only just usually do one at a time, just to try to make sure they're as even as possible. 1, my daughters are all begging me to make them all night lights for their room, and so one of these days I'm going to do that. I might possibly give this one to my second oldest because she really loves unicorns and horses. But we have a very crafty house here because for those of you who don't know me in real life, my husband and I have 5 daughters, and my oldest is 10, and she just got her first Cricut for an early birth present here, early birthday present here a couple months ago, because I wanted her to be able to have it on summer vacation. And so she's been playing with that. She got an Air for her birthday. I have an Air 2 that I actually just got for Christmas. So I'm relatively new to this as well. But then our second one is 7, and our third daughter is 4. Our fourth daughter is 2, and then the baby is going to be 8 months old tomorrow, actually. Tomorrow she will be 8 months old, and they all have names that start with A. So that's fun and also confusing because we just see how many times during the day we can call them all by the wrong name usually. But at any rate, they all love crafting, and so anytime I'm crafting, they like to be too, which is why I have to do my videos at 10:30 at night, because otherwise I would have lots and lots and lots of help. But they also like when Grandma comes and craft with them, and I'm perfectly happy to let them craft because it's better spending it crafting than on the computer or just video games all day. Okay, I've come around to my last couple tabs here, and I'm just going to tuck this one inside. You can see there. Try to turn this at an angle so you can see. So get my glue on, get my glue on these last 2 tabs, and stick that down in there. I off-centered it a little bit. There. That's better. Okay, get that in there. And then we are just going to do like we did with the bottom and run a little strip of glue up like that. And then close it up. Okay, so after you have that, go through and make sure all of these tabs are pushed up nice like that. Turn it this way so you can see what I'm doing. I've got glue strings everywhere. Okay, so got all of those, and I usually just go through. I'm going to put in my other glue now just so I don't run out midway through here. And I've got to do this part fairly quickly because I like to do all of these tabs at once, and we don't want them to dry. So go through and get a dab of glue on all of those. Take this and just lay it right in there, and then I just kind of go through and press. Be careful when you do that you don't burn yourself. But go through and press it down. Okay, so then we have a lid. You have your box and plenty of extra glue strings, but that just sits on there like that. And I just realized I forgot my, I've got my string lights, but I didn't bring them over here. Let me go and grab those real quick. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I realized I forgot my pliers too. I use that to cut my wooden dowels. These are the little string lights I've got. I got these on Amazon, and they have a teeny tiny battery pack, which is perfect for these kind of things. So I'm going to set those aside for right now. Now my little unicorns have pretty small little legs, and if I put hot glue on the bottom of them, they're not going to be terribly stable. So, but because they're so skinny for my little baby unicorn, I'm just going to cut, I don't even know if this is quite 1/2 inch piece, but off the pointy side of my dowel. And what I'm working on is a non-stick sheet here. But I'm just going to do a tiny little drop of glue on him and do the wider part of the dowel up on his leg where it's thicker, and do the pointy end down. That will add some stability, but you're not going to be able to really see that from the outside. And then I'm going to cut another piece, and these will, how much stabilizer you need is just going to kind of depend on what design you're using on the inside. I'm going to cut another piece for Mom's leg here and just use hot glue to put that on like that. And I think I'm going to do one more small one for the middle. And these aren't necessarily going to get a lot of, under normal circumstances, a lot of impact to the inside of them. But when you're working with cardstock, you don't want your designs to start drooping. So this just helps add a little better base for them to sit on. And by the time you turn them around and get rid of my hot glue strings, when you're looking at them facing forward, you really can't see. Now, I'm hoping I will get these on straight. I'm going to do this facing away, where normally I just poke my head down and look through the little hole while I'm putting these in there so I can make sure I'm getting them where I want them to go. But since I want you guys to be able to see, I'm going to essentially be doing this backwards from what I usually do. But I stick a little bit of glue on each of the places where I have my dowels, and then set those in there. And give them a moment for everything to adhere well. Yeah, we're a little off, but for doing it backwards, I think I'm doing all right. But so that's the basics of how you do that. And then for your lid, of course, with our 2 layers, we've essentially made a shelf for our lights to go in, and you can tell the back because it has this little seam. So what I do, and I believe this little string of lights is 6 foot, but it's got very flexible, small, thin wire. So I basically take these and just start cramming them in there, pretty much. I try to poke some around this way and some around that way, but just get them all in. And you will get, usually, I'm not yet, wait and see, it's happened the other times, that you will get some that starts poking out of the little windows. But if you've got ones that are on flexible wire like this, you can poke them back inside the lid. Excuse me, frog in my throat. You can poke them back inside the lid and they'll pretty much stay put where you put them. And this is basically the last step for finishing up these lights. Everything else is, you can add extra decoration. You can add more on the inside. With the one in the pictures that I did, I obviously added the seashell and the little rolled roses to the top and had some sand underneath. Okay. So we'll get our ends poked back in there. Okay, everybody's in there. This part I normally leave hanging down a little bit. That just sits on top. I put in just enough, basically leave just enough of this cord out to keep it from really dangling. But then you have your finished product. And we did all of that in, what was it, about 30 minutes? I have my lamp sitting right over here. We're gonna lamps and light switches everywhere. I know this probably doesn't pick up real well. I don't know, get it pointed the right direction for the cameras here. But yes, they really do put off a nice glow. I'll get that back on so you can see me again. And see inside a little better, because I know my laptop camera's not the best quality and I apologize about that. But that is the basics on how you do these. And I thank you for being patient with me and my mishaps during this video and for stopping by. Yeah, here we all are. Sorry, for stopping by and visiting my page. And if you have any questions or are having any problems with the file or anything, then just send me a message or leave me a comment and let me know, and I would be glad to help. That's all for tonight. I will see you guys later. Bye.